Hi, my name is Ben Berube, and today I'm going to be convincing you why owning real estate will always be the best long-term investment. Over the past semester, I've taken a deep dive into the real estate market as a whole, comparing it to the other popular investment vehicle of stocks, and seeing how the markets operate separately and how they intertwine with each other. Did you know that the National Association for Home Builders estimates the average multifamily home sale price at $450,000? While this may seem very daunting, first-time investors can utilize Fannie Mae down payments to only put 3% of the house's value down. Using the national median rent of $1,967, you could be making back your down payment in just 7 months. 155,993,471 people. That's the estimate of the number of Americans who hold no investments. In the beginning of my project, this number really shocked me because personally, I feel as investing is just supercharging your money and getting more out of it and constantly having it working for you. Throughout my project, I realized that a huge reason for this is because people aren't armed with the knowledge of making proper investment decisions. So I looked at these two investment vehicles and took a deeper dive so I could inform people about the best decisions to make. And that's when I came to the conclusion that owning real estate will always be the best long-term investment option. My essential question turned out to be, what are the benefits of investing in real estate? Because I really wanted to focus on that, as I see it not only as a personal passion of mine and a possible career path in the future, but also the best steady investment option for people who don't want to be a full-time investor. To answer this question, I took a three-pronged approach, starting by attending and completing the Barry School of Real Estate 40-hour licensing course. This was a great experience for me as I got to learn about the New Hampshire and national real estate markets and really kind of hone my interest in real estate. It was a 40-hour Zoom course consisting of 10 4-hour classes. I feel like I learned a lot about myself and the real estate market and was able to increase my work ethic abilities through having to sit through these 4-hour Zoom classes. Next, my internship at Gray Property Group has been hugely beneficial for me in this process. For my community connection hours, I reached out to a local real estate investor in Manchester named Nick Gray. In my meeting with him to discuss the real estate market and learn more, it went very well, and he ended up offering me a position at his company. And now I've been working there for about 6 weeks, and it's been fantastic, and I already feel I've learned a ton. For my community connection, I spoke with 2 different real estate professionals, first being my uncle, Stephen Berube, and second being my boss, Nick Gray. I thought they provided 2 different perspectives of the real estate market that could be very beneficial to me. My uncle is a full-time dentist, and so he's a real estate broker on the side, and so he gave me a great perspective on kind of what it's like to do real estate as a side hustle. My boss does it full-time. He's a multifamily investor. And he gave me a great perspective on what real estate is like more as a career. So this led me to my answer for my question. Why real estate? I believe it's the best long-term investment option. And here's why. Decreased volatility. Stocks fluctuate with different market inconsistencies. If you buy a stock, and suddenly there's a social issue or a domestic issue in our country or a war, if you buy a share of Coca-Cola, that stock could plummet. People will always need real estate. It's less volatile, more consistent. When you invest in real estate, you have a higher chance of keeping your money and growing it. Secondarily, the passive income opportunities are fantastic. When you invest in a stock, it sits there in the market, and if the company does well, you have the opportunity to make dividend checks. When you invest in real estate, you can make month-to-month rent and work your full-time job and make a couple extra $1,000 on top of that. How fantastic would that be, coming home to a $1,000 check at the end of every month? Thirdly, tangibility. You can't live in a stock, but you can live in a piece of real estate. You'll always have that tangible asset to fall back on. Lastly, long-term security. While trends change and people look for different things in their products they're buying and the companies they're supporting, people will always need real estate. It's one of the 3 staples of human life. food, water, and shelter. People will always need shelter, and that creates a consistency that I find very appealing. Like I said earlier, I think that people have a huge issue with knowing when to invest or how to invest, which is why we have such a high number of people in the United States who don't invest. So these are the 4 key factors that I came up with to look for to make a smart investment. First, I have liquidity, making sure that you know when you'll need your money back out of the market. As I said, I believe real estate is the best long-term investment. If you might need your money in a few weeks, you don't want to invest in something that you'll have to take months to sell. Secondarily, external economic factors. If you had invested before the economic recession of 2008 and bought stocks at a higher price, you would have lost most of your money. It's important to be aware of the economic factors around you when investing. Last is your personal financial limitations. You don't want to invest higher than your means and be unable to put food on the table. Investment timeline ties back into liquidity. If you're a 65-year-old man, you might not want to purchase an investment that will only really come to term and earn you the most money in a 30-year span. Some challenges I faced during my project were focusing and finding time for these 4-hour Zoom classes. Being a student athlete and working, I had a hard time budgeting in 4 hours to sit on a Zoom call and really be able to learn. I'm also not, the best computer learner, as I discovered during COVID. So sitting and focusing for 4 hours and taking good notes and retaining that information was challenging for me. I also had a hard time collecting relevant information in my project and putting it into an answer that could be shared with people around me that people could understand. With so much information out on the internet, it's hard to find good, solid facts that you can incorporate into your argument. However, from all of this, after completing my project, I've felt that it had a personal impact on me that's been very profound. My focusing skills and work ethic have skyrocketed. My communication skills, being able to use the people in the communities around me as a resource, have greatly increased. My community connection allowed me to create connections out in the world around us that I think will help me going forward in my life for a long time. In conclusion, I believe that everyone should try to invest as much as they can. In the long term, I really believe that real estate will always be the best investment. However, investing in any facet is like putting your money on steroids. There's no reason not to be, as long as you can, without limiting your ability to live life and put food on the table. I've really enjoyed being able to perform this project and learn more about this path that I see being a great part of my future, and I'm happy that I could share that all with you today. Thank you, guys. Any questions?
I'm 18 years old. I feel like $7 in my bank account. What do I do? How do I become, what's your number one tip to listen to that much money? But wants to be rich, has these extra $9 paycheck.
Right. So what I would say is investing within your means is a big part of that. So I found a fact, and these numbers might be slightly off, but if you save $20 per month for 25 years, you have $6,000. With the market returns over the last 25 years, if you invested $20 per month for 25 years, you'd have $26,537. I think that's the exact number if I remember correctly. So I would say no matter what you're investing in, the best thing to do is start. Sitting on your money isn't going to really get you much in the long run. Obviously, it's better to have savings than not, but if they're invested, it can kind of be supercharging your process.
Do you want to do this more as a side hustle in the future, or mainly?
That's kind of something I'm going to figure out over the next couple of years. Yeah. I think it's a great career path, and I see the flexibility that my boss has now, but it's also hard. It's not the most stable full-time career. Having your whole income based around the performance of your investments and not having a salary is hard. And I know I was at work yesterday, and for my boss, he had stuff he needed to get done, and so he just had to stay at the office until 2:30 in the morning. And so I'm not sure if that is a future I'd necessarily want, if I'd want to assume all of that risk, but it's definitely an option, and I'm definitely excited to look further into it.
Thank you.
Yeah.